Hi everyone, a very good morning to one and all, and a warm welcome to the next session on HTML. Up to now, we have completed some of the introduction topics regarding HTML, and in the last from the last three classes, we have seen about the how to create links in HTML and how to insert images, and then how to create lists in HTML. So in today's topic, we are going to see about how to create a table in HTML. So we all know that for each and every purpose in HTML, we have some elements. We can call them as tags. So by using some tags, we can do some things in HTML. So that is in while seeing the last classes. If we want to create a link, we are using an anchor tag. If we want to insert an image, we are using img tag. And if we want to create list, we are using different types of tags based upon the type of list. If we want to create an ordered list, we are using OL. If we want to create an unordered list, we are using UL. And if we want a description list, we are using DL. So usage of tags is based upon our need. If we want to create something, we are going to use some tag. So in today's class, let us see about how to create a table. And I am V. Dinesh Babu from the Department of CSE of Chabrol Engineering College. So let us move to the slide regarding the table, the creation of table and how to divide the table into rows and columns and how to add the data into the table. Let us see each and everything here. Table. So there is one tag in HTML. The name of the tag is table. And by using this table tag, we are going to create a table which consists of certain rows and columns. I will show in the syntax how to create number of rows and number of columns in a table by using HTML. So table tag is used to create a table in HTML. And why we use this table in the sense, in order to represent some data in a tabular form, we use these tables. We all know we can represent the data in multiple forms. We can represent the data using diagrams, or we can represent the data by using tabular form, or we can represent the data by using a simple text. So here, if we want to represent the data in a tabular form, we need to create some tables. So creating tables in different languages have different procedures, but in HTML, if we want to create a table, we have to use the element called as table. So now, for each and every table, what is the limit? Is there any limit of rows and columns? No, there is no limit for a number of rows and number of columns for a table which was created by in HTML. But it depends upon the size of the screen, or no, we cannot say the size of the screen. We can create any number of rows and any number of columns. So there is no limit for number of rows and number of columns for a particular table which was created in HTML. So we can create any number of rows, and each and every row can be divided into any number of columns. So let us see. Let us go to the next point, right? So in HTML, we can create a table to display data in tabular form. So that particular table can be created by using a tag called as table. And within the table, we are going to use three more tags. The names of those tags are tr, td, and th. So we are going to use a table element in order to create a table. And inside that particular table, we are going to use 3 more tags with the names tr, td, and th. The meaning of these 3 elements is that tr means table row, td means table data, and th means table header. So table row, table data, and table header. That is tr, td, and th respectively. Right. So let us see the next point. In each table, table row is defined by tr tag. As I said earlier, tr, td, and th. Tr is for table row, td is for table data, and then th is for table header. So in each table, table row is defined by tr tag, table header is defined by th tag, and table data is defined by td tags. So let us see how these tr, th, and td are used, and how the data how the data will be displayed on the table in the coming examples. I will show an example at the end of this theory part regarding the tables in HTML. I will show an example at the end. So in that example, we can see how to create a table by using a table tag, how to create a row by using table row, how to generate a header by using table header, and how to insert some data into the table row by using the TD tag. So as we know that for each and every tag of, not for each and every tag, some of the tags in HTML contain some attributes. We all, while creating a links, we are going to use anchor tag. That particular anchor tag consists of a attribute called as a H reference. And while we are using image tag, that is img tag, which consists of certain attributes such as src, alt, height, width. These are the attributes of that image tag. And similarly, when we are using dealing with the topic of list in the last class, we have used the attribute called as type attribute. So when we are dealing with the ordered list, we have used the tag called as OL tag. And for that particular OL tag, we have used an attribute called as type, which mentions what is the order we want to generate on the web page. If we want to generate an order like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we can give type equal to 1. If we want to generate an order like A, B, C, D, then we have to give type equal to A. So that particular type is an attribute for OL tag, that is order list tag. So similarly, as anchor tag contains H reference, image tag contains src, and OL tag contains type. Similarly, this table element also contains certain attributes. So let us have a look at what are the attributes this particular table contains. So let us see. So the name of the first attribute that can be used for a table tag is called as border. So it is used to create a border for a table. So if we want to create certain border for a table, we can use this attribute border. So I will show how to use this particular border attribute in a table tag. I will show it in the example. Don't worry. So let us move to the next slide. So we have seen only one attribute, that is the border attribute, and this border attribute is used to create a border for a table, right? So next one, cell padding and cell spacing. These are somewhat important. So while we are when we say a table means it consists of certain rows and columns. It consists of certain rows and columns. So let us consider a single row or a single row column. Let us consider a row column. In that row column, we are going to insert certain data. So the distance between cell border and cell content is called as cell padding. So there may be some data inside a row column, and that particular row column consists of a border. So the distance between that particular border and that content is called as cell padding, and the distance between two cells or two rows or two columns is called as cell spacing. So this is the image that we can see. Here we can see that for this particular thing, I will show it by drawing something. right? So here, the distance between, see, this is the particular border of the cell. This is the border of the cell. What I am showing here is the border of the cell. This is one row column. That is, this is, let us consider this is one cell, right? For this particular one cell, this is the border. What is represented with the blue lines is called as border, and this is the data. One second. Sorry, just one second. So what I am drawing here is the border of that particular cell, right? What is represented in blue line is the border of that particular cell. Let us take one more color. And the thing here, CE103 is the data in that particular cell. So here, the distance from the border to the content of the cell is called as cell padding. So there is some gap in between this particular border, the blue lines, and the data CE103. So here this space is called as cell padding. Cell padding. So if you observe the next image, so there is some distance between, you can see there is some distance between cell 101 and cell 102. So this particular distance is called as cell spacing, right? So cell padding means the distance between the content of the cell and the border of the cell is called as cell padding, right? Cell spacing means the distance between two cells in a table, right? A cell is nothing, but it is somewhat a row and column. We can say, for example, let us consider this is a table, right? This is a table. So in this particular table, we can insert four elements, not elements. We can insert four values. So these are the four values. This is the first value, and next one, this is the second value. And then this is the first value, this is the second value, this is the third value, and this is the fourth value. So while inserting these four things, this particular area is called as column 1 and row 1. This area is called as column 1 and row 1. And this area is called as column 1 and row 2. Right? So, sorry, row 1 and column 2. So, while we insert some data into this particular area, the data will be aligned at some default things. So, for that particular data, there will be some border. Okay, there will be some border. If we want to change the border, then we can use the cell spacing, right? I think everyone got understand regarding the cell padding and cell spacing. Cell padding means the distance between the border and the content. Cell spacing means the distance between the two cells in a table, right? So I'm clearing all these drawings. Yeah. So now let us move to the next slide. Column span and row span. These are the next two attributes of a table element, column span and row span. So there may be some situations while we are dealing with the tables. In some situations, we want to merge a couple of rows or a number of rows, or in some situations, we want to merge some couple of columns. If the data is common for all the different rows, we have to merge one column. So in such type of situations, we want to combine two or more number of rows or two or more number of columns. So if we want to combine two or more rows or columns, then we have to use this particular column span and row span attributes of a table tag. So column span, which is used to merge two or more number of columns, whereas row span, it is used to merge two or more number of columns in a table. So in a table, if we want to merge two or more number of rows, we can use a row span attribute. And in the column, if we want to merge two or more number of columns, we can use this column span attribute. So let us see the syntax, how we can use this row span and column span. So these row span and column span can be used with the, along with the TD tag. We already seen that table tag is used to create a table. Table row or TER tag is used to create a table row. TD tag is used to insert some data into the table, and then TH tag is used to create the header for the table. So here, so we can use this column span and row span along with the TD tag. So for example, TD space row span equal to n. For example, if the n value is 2, then we are going to merge two rows. And then if n value is 5, means we are going to merge 5 rows. In case if TD space column span equal to 10, means we are going to merge 10 number of columns. So this is how we can merge two or more number of rows or two or more number of columns by using row span or column span respectively. So we can use this row span and column span along with the TD tag under the table element. So let us see the next attribute, BG color. So some people may not like black color because of their own sentiments. So by default, the border of the table or the data inside the table will be in the black color. So if we want, I will explain how to change the things. So let us look at background, how to change the background color, and then we can move to the how to change the color of the table. Right. So if we want to change the color of background color of the table, by default background color of the table will be white, and the borders will be represented, and the headings or the data inside the table will be represented with the black color. So for if some people don't want to have the background with the white color, so the people can change the color of the table, that is the background color of the table can be changed by the people by using a tag, not a tag, by using an attribute called as BG color. So there is one attribute, BG color. By using that BG color, they can change the background of a table. So let us see the syntax of the BG color, how it can be used. So this BG color can be used along with the table tag. Okay. So this BG color we have can be used along with the table tag. So this while writing a table element, for example, table space BG color equal to, within the double quotes we can mention any color name. For example, if we mention pink, means the entire background color of the table will be pink. If we mention red, means the entire background color of the table will be in red color. So this is how we can change the background color of a table. So in order to change the background color of a table, we can use BG color attribute, right? So next one, background. So some people have interest in order to insert some images in the background of the table. So if we want to insert an image in the background of a table or a text or an entire table, so if you can insert an image at the background of a text, or we can insert an image at to the entire table, background of the table. So if we want to insert an image, we can use this background tag. So for that background tag also, we have to provide the complete path of the image, what we want to insert on as a background. So let us look at the syntax of this background attribute. So for table, if we want to insert a background image, we have to use this background attribute. For that particular background attribute on the RHS side, we have to provide the complete path of the image. So the image which has been passed to the background attribute of the table, that image should be aligned at the background of a table. And next, border color. Border color. As I said earlier, if by default the border color will be in the black color, if some people may don't have interest with the black color. So if they want to change the color of the border with some other colors, we can use this border color, right? So this is used for setting color to borders in a table. So in order to set the colors for a border in a table, we can use this border color. So simple table space border color equal to, for example, within the double quotes, if we provide some color called as green, means the entire borders will be changed to green color. So the syntax is very similar to the BG color. So in the BG color, we have used, you can see the BG color here. We have used some table space BG color equal to color name. Similarly, we can use table space border color equal to, with the double quotes, we have to provide some color name. So that particular color will be displayed for each and every border of particular table. So I think everything is clear till now. So this is the completion of the theory part regarding the tables in HTML. So let us revise all the points before going to an example program. Let us revise all the points. So this is the first slide what we have seen regarding the tables. So if we want to create a table in HTML, we are going to use a table tag. So under the table tag, we are going to, if we want to create a row, we can use table row. If we want to create a data, we use table data. And then for header, we use table header. And then there are some attributes for table tag. Border attribute, it is used to create the borders, and then cell padding and cell spacing. So the distance between the content and the border of the cell is called as cell padding. And then the distance between the two cells in a table is called as cell spacing. And column span and row span. So there are some situations like when we are dealing with the table, there are some situations we need to merge two or more number of rows or two or more number of columns. At those particular situations in HTML, if we want to merge two or more number of rows or two or more number of columns, so we can use row span and column span respectively, so that we can merge two or more number of rows or two or more number of columns. And then we can apply some background color to a table. By default, the background color will be white. And if you want to change the background color of the table, we can use an attribute called as BG color. And for that BG color, we have to provide the color name within the double quotes, so that the background color will be changed to the color what we specified with this BG color. And similarly, similar to the color of changing of background color, we can also have an image at the background of a table. So if we want to have an image at the background of the table, we can use a attribute called as background attribute. So for that background attribute, we have to provide some complete path of the image, so that particular image will be set as a background for the table. And then similarly, by default, the borders will be in black color. And if we want to change the color of the borders to some other color, we can use this border color attribute while creating the table. So this is the theory part. So let us move to the, I think everyone is satisfied with this theory part. So let us move to the programming part. Let us create a table and let us insert some data into the table, and let us create some headers, and let us apply some background color, or let us apply some images, etc. So this is the program regarding the last class. So in the last class, we have created a list. Last class, we have created multiple number of list, that is order list, unordered list, description list. So I'm deleting all the data regarding this list. So, and today the topic is tables, tables in HTML. So each and every, let us look at the program of each and every line. HTML. So while we are dealing with HTML programs, we need to must and should have an HTML tag. And this is the extra information what is to be provided, what we are going to provide, that is kept in a head tag, right? Head tag. So we want the title of our web page as titles in tables in HTML. That is why we have given the tables in HTML between the table and start and end tag. And then the actual information what we need to display on the web page should be kept in the body tag. And then we end the program with the closing tag of HTML. Now let us create some table. So we have now seen that in order to create a table, we have to use a tag called as table tag, right? We have to use a tag called as table tag, and then we have to use a tag called as table row in order to create a table row. And then let us create a table header For example, table header is some CSC, right? Let us close this table header and then create a table data. Table data. I'm creating some table data here, right? Create one more table data. So let us look at how this one will work, and we can make some more changes, right? Close the table row and then close the table. Let us look at the output of this particular code, and after seeing the output we can make changes if everything is okay, right? So save this one. So it is already saved. We are already seeing this one from the links itself. We have created links, and then we have created images, and then we have worked with list in the same program, that is links.html, which was saved under the documents. So let us open the documents. So the program name is links.html. Right here it is. Links. It is an HTML code. So if you want to see the output of this program, just double click on it. It will open and it will show the output. Right, you can see here. 1 second. You can see here. This is the output. So let us compare the code with the output. So we have created a table, right? And then we have created one row. That is why all the data was located in a row, right? And then 1 second. And then we have created table header. Our table header is CSC. So we have created a CSC as a table header. That is why CSC was somewhat, we can say it as somewhat boldness is there for CSC because it is a table header. And that under the table header, we have some table data called as first year, second year. So that was represented here, first year, second year. And then we ended the table row, and then we ended the table. So you can, many of the people by seeing after this one, they thought that there is no table. There's the things which was represented was represented like a text. So we have studied here. Let us refine the things in the table. So here we just said that table is used to create a table tag. TR is used to create a table row. TD is used to generate table data, and then THE is used to create table header. And then there are some attributes. So border, there is one attribute called as border. So it helped for to create border to a table. So table can be generated by using a table tag. But if you want to create some borders for the table, we have to use this border attribute. So add this border attribute to the program so that it will display some border to the particular table. So let us add. An attribute called as border. So just add a border and save this code. Okay, save this code and refresh this web page so that we can see the output. So you can observe previously there are no borders for this table. Now we got some borders, right? Now we got some borders, and in those borders we have used this CSC as a table header. Under that CSC we have two table data, that is first year and second year. So let us extend this table by adding some more data, right? So now I want to create one more table, or I want to add some more data to this table. So I'm adding some more data to already an existing row, right? You can observe here. This is first row. The name of the first row is the heading of the first row is CSC. Under that row we have first year, second year, third year, fourth year. Similarly, right? Similarly, copying this code. 1 second. Copying this code and pasted the same code, but I am changing here as ECE, right? And then again I'm pasting the code, and then here I am going to apply some triple E. right? And after this one, I'm going to paste the code again, and then I'm using civil, and then I'm pasting the same code, and I am using mechanical, right? Again, I'm going to add some more, one more row with the name IT. So I have just done, I just copied and pasted each and everything. I just changed the name of the row. So in the table, we may have, I think, 5 rows, one row with the header of CSC, and one row with the header of EC, right? And one row with the header of triple E, and one row with CSC, civil, and one row with mechanical, and one row with IT. So let us save the code, and now refresh the web page. So you can observe, there are 6 rows, right? 6 rows and 5 columns. So in the first column, we have inserted some headers, right? And in the 2, 3, 4, and 5 columns, we have inserted first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. Okay, so this is how we can create tables with some border, and we can create table rows by using tr tag, and we can insert the data into particular table rows by using td tag. Okay, so number of td tags under the tr tag will defines the number of columns of that particular table. So here we have used 4 td tags. That means there will be 4 and plus 1, that is the table header. Total 5 columns will be there in this particular table. So I think now everyone is clear with this, how to create a simple table in HTML. So let us move to the some more attributes. Let us use some more attributes in table so that we can apply those attributes, and let us see the changes what we will bring to this particular table by adding those attributes. So let us see the PPT again. So we already used this border. Okay, next one, use the next attributes, cell padding and cell spacing. So let us observe what will happens if you use cell padding and cell spacing. So here I'm using this entire entire table. I'm using this entire table. Now I'm copying this code. Okay, so here I'm pasting the entire code, right? Entire code I'm pasting, but for the second table, okay, for the second table, I'm going to use cell padding, right? Cell padding equal to, I'm going to use some 30, right? And I'm going to create the same table again. So there will be, so here there will be 3 tables in the program. Okay, 3 tables in the program. For the first table, we don't apply the cell spacing or cell padding. So for the second table, we have applied cell padding, and for the third table, we have applied cell spacing. So now save the code, right? Save the code, and then here initially, before that we made changes in the program, we have created only one table, right? We have created only one table uh, with 6 rows and some 5 columns. Now the same table is copied into copied a couple of times, so that now we will get 3 tables as an output. In those 3 tables, right? In those 3 tables, first table we don't apply any cell padding and cell spacing. For the second table, we have applied only cell padding, and for the third table, we have applied only cell spacing. So let us refresh the web page so that we can 3 tables can be displayed. So these are the 3 tables. The first one, we don't have any cell padding or cell spacing, right? This is the first one. This is the first one. We don't have any cell padding or cell spacing, right? And then this is the second one, right? This is the second one with cells padding equal to 30. So here we have, one second. No padding and no spacing. No padding, right? And no spacing. Here, right? We have padding equal to 30. That means padding in the sense, right? The distance between the cell border and the data, right? And then here we have some distance between two cells, right? And the distance between these two cells can be created by using the called as cell spacing, which is we have given as 30. So there will be 30 pixel space between each and every cell, and there will be 30 pixel space between the border of the cell and the content of the cell. And if we don't have any padding or spacing, then the table will be created similar to this one. So now I think everyone got some clarification regarding this cell spacing and cell padding, right? Cell padding and cell spacing, right? So now let us look at the next attributes: column span and row span, right? So let us use this column span and row span. First, we can use this column span. Let us apply the changes in the let us take the changes in the second table, right? In the second table, okay. So I'm going to use TD space, right? I'm going to use column span, right? Column span equal to 2. Provide this 2 in the double quotes. Column span equal to 2, right? So let us see what happens when we take column span equal to 2. So we are doing these changes. Keep the things in mind. We are doing these changes for the second table, right? Second table. So we are doing the changes for the table header CSC. So under CSC, we have first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. So for that particular row only, we are doing this, we are applying these changes. So let us save the code and refresh the page. This is the page, and we are going to apply the changes to this particular table, second table, right? So just refresh the thing. So you can observe, right? You can observe here, two columns have been merged. So two columns have been merged, and in those two columns we have kept only the data called as first year. So the first year had occupied two columns. Okay, first year had occupied two columns for this particular CSC table header. Okay, so let us apply this row span for another table. For EC, I am going to apply this row span equal to, here I am going to give some value 3. So 3 rows are going to be merged. Among those 3 rows, we are going to keep the first year. So save the code. So keep the things in mind. We are going to apply these changes to the second table. Under the second table, we have different headers, and we are going to apply this change to the ECE header. Okay. Under the ECE header, we are going to merge 3 rows. We are going to merge 3 rows, right? So save the code, right? Save the code and refresh the page. So we are going to apply for this particular thing. We are going to merge 3 rows. Right? So you can observe 3 rows have been combined right? 3 rows have been combined. Okay, so this is how we can merge number of rows or number of columns inside a table of HTML code. I think everyone got some clarification regarding this column span and row span, right? So let us move to the next attribute, BG color. So if you observe this thing, you observe the entire background of each and every table was white color. So the entire background is white color. Okay, so let us change the background color of any one table. Let us consider any one table and let us change the color of the background for the table, and then we can move to the changing of the colors, background colors of the remaining tables. So let us take the first table. Let us take the first table and use the, so we are using BG color as an attribute. So we are using BG color in order to change the background color of the entire table. We are using BG color. So that syntax of BG color will be, we have to provide the color name what we want as the background for the particular table. So we have to use this BG color as an attribute for the table element. Okay, so for the table element, so we need some borders. That why we have used this border attribute. We already seen what happens if we don't use this border attribute for the table element. So there will be no borders for the table. So if we want some borders for the table, we have to use this border attribute for the table element. So here I'm going to use one more attribute. I'm going to add one more attribute called as BG color. For the BG color, so I'm going to provide the color as black. Okay, so let us save this code. Okay, save this code, and then make a click on the refresh button so that the changes will be applied. So keep the things in mind. This is the previous output, and now we are going to change the background color of this particular table. This is table number 1, and we are going to change the background color of this table. So refresh the thing. So now you can observe we are not going to see any data, because by default the text on the table is in black color. We can change the color of the text also. I will show it later. So we have some data in the table, but the data is not visible because the background color is same as the text color. So this is how we can change the background color of a table. So let us make some changes. Let us use some more color. Let us take yellow, save the code, and now make a click on refresh. So the background color of the table is yellow color, and the data on that background is called is in black color. So let us use this particular background color, right? Background color attribute, right? To a table data, and let us see what will happen. Here I'm going to use some pink color. Let us see what will happen if you use this BG color attribute for table data. Save the code, right? And then apply the, make a click on refresh. So you can observe here, I'm applying this BG color for first year of CSC under CSC header. So we are going to apply the background color pink. So the first year, this particular table data will have the background color as pink, right? I think now everything is clear. If we use this BG color along with the table, means the entire background color of the table will be going to be changed. If you use this BG color for TD, means only that particular data will have different background color. So let us use this BG color with table row. Let us apply this table BG color with more table row and see what happens in case of one second. Yeah. One second. Let's copy the thing and now apply these changes to the EC. So let us take some another color in order to see beautiful changes. So save the code. I'm going to take the green color for table row, right? I saved the program and then So you can observe that the entire background color of the row was changed to green color. So the meaning of this bg color here is, in order to change the background, if we want to have the same common background color for all the table, we can use this, you can use this bg color attribute along with table element. If we want to change the background color of a particular row, we can use this bg color with tr tag, that is table row tag. So if we want to change the background color of a particular data, we can use this bg color with the td tag. So bg color can be used along with the table tag, tr tag, td tag, right? We can also use this for th tag also. So that particular table header will get changed, right? So this is how we can change the background color of a table or a row or a column or a table header also, right? So let us move to the next attribute, bg color. We completed the bg color background, right? So let us use this background attribute. So why we are going to use this background attribute, in the sense, if we want to change the if we want to have an image at the background of a table, we can use this background. So let us look at how we can insert an image into the background of a table, right? One second. So let us do the change. Let us do all these changes for the table number 3. Here it is. It is a table number 3. What we applied before we applied cell spacing. So for having an image at the background of a table, we are going to use an attribute called as background. And for that particular background attribute, we need to supply a path of an image so that it will be displayed at the background. So let us take the path. Let us consider an image from a PC. Let us consider an image. One second. Right, let us consider this particular image. That is a JPEG image, and right, the image what we have already applied in the links and images concept also. IMG underscore 2679 is the name, and JPG is the extension of that image. IMG underscore 2679. So the image was in D drive. IMG underscore 2679 is the name of the image, and the extension of the image is JPEG. So I want to have this particular image as a background for my table, the third table, right? So save the code. Let's save the code and observe the output by making a click on the refresh button. So this is the third table by which where we have applied some cell spacing, right? So make a refresh. So there is the background of the table. There we can see there is something in the background, and that particular thing is called as the image what we have inserted for this table, right? So let us change the image. Let us have our logo as an image. So let us see. One second. Here we have some logo of our college. So the logo was located at some F drive online classes, CSCF DPF DP2, and the name of the image is CHEC logo, and the extension is .jpeg. So just I copied the path of this logo, and now in the code, right, I'm going to insert it as a background, right? I'm going to insert it as a background for the name of the image is CHEC space logo, and the extension is JPG, right? We have to provide this in the double quotes as a value for the attribute called as background. So we are going to insert our college logo as a background for table number 2, right? Save the code. Now, right, save the code and just make a refresh. This is the second page. Make a refresh. So we have our college logo as an image, as an background image for this particular table. So there are the image is we can say there are multiple copies of the same image. We can also change the things by using certain tags. There are some tags by which we can change the properties of that images also. Right. This is how we can change the background of any table by using the background. So up to now we have seen that all the things, how to apply borders, how to apply cell spacing, and how to have a row span, column span, and then we can see we have seen about the how to change the background color of a table, and then we saw the how to insert an image in the background. Now let us see how to change the border color. So we can change the border color by using an attribute called as border color. So let us use this attribute. Let us apply this attribute for the first table. Here we have border color. One second, sorry, it is not border color. The attribute name is one second, not COLOUR, it is COLO. One second. So let us have some border color like red. So let us save the code and observe the output by making a. So we have applied the changes for this first table. Now refresh the table. So you can observe that the borders of this particular table has been changed to red color. Right? The borders of the table number 2 and table number 3 are in black color only, the default color. But we have applied the border color attribute to this particular table number 1. That means the border has been changed to red color. So let us apply the same attribute, that is the border color attribute for the second table. And this is the second table. I am going to apply an attribute called as border color. And here I want a color border color as something like green. So let us save the code, and then observe the output by making a refresh on the web browser. So this is the previous output. Right? This is the previous output where you can observe all the borders of this table. These are the borders of this table. All the borders of this particular table are in black color. Now just make a refresh. So it is changed to green color, but some people may not able to see. Let us use another color. Let us use the red color so that it is clearly visible for all the people. I'm saving this code. Now make a refresh. You can observe that the borders of the color of the borders has been changed to red color. So this is how we can create a table. We can create a table row. We can create a table data, or we can create a table header. We can create borders for the table. We can combine 2 or more number of rows by using row span. We can combine 2 or more number of columns by using column span. We can have some distance in between the cells by using cell spacing. We can have some distance between the content of the cell and the border of the cell by using cell padding. We can have some background color for a table by using BG color. We can have that particular background color for a table, for a particular row, or for a column by using this BG color attribute for a table row or a table data or a table header or a table, right? We can have an image at the background of a table by using background attribute, and then by default the color of the borders are in black color. We can change the colors of color of the border by using a border color. So I think everything is clear for all the people. So this is with this I'm going to close this session, and in the next class we can see the things regarding the frames. I can explain what is a frame and how those frames are created in HTML and how to use these frames in HTML and what are the different advantages of using these frames. I will show it in the next class. So before with this, I am going to close today's session. If you have any doubts regarding today's session, right, you can comment in the comment box or you can just text me. I will explain. No problem. And I'm very thankful. Thank you to one and all for listening to this video. Hope you got some enough knowledge, and thank you very much.